Welcome to SATV News. This is Nuri Alamin with the headlines. Prime Minister reiterates her call to put concentration on boosting food production, doing savings and showing austerity. BNP will form a new commission to identify those who were behind the murder of its founder Zia Rahman, says Mr. Fakhrul. BPTV, NCC and Chinese firm EU entity signs an agreement to develop the country's second wasp-based power plant. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina reiterated her call to the countrymen to put concentration on boosting food production, doing savings and showing austerity in all stages in the wake of the global crisis. She made the call while addressing the opening ceremony of 24th National Convention and 43rd Council of the Institute of Diploma Engineers, Bangladesh at Osmani Memorial Auditorium as the chief guest. Hasina also called upon the countrymen to maintain austerity as price of all essential items has shot up across the globe due to the COVID-19 pandemic and Russia-Ukraine war. She also added that people of the country will have to be very careful as the global economic situation is worsening day by day. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir said that their party will form a new commission to identify those who were behind the murder of its founder Zia Rahman and put them on trial if the party returned to power in the days to come. He made the comment after paying tribute to late President Zia Rahman at his final resting place on the occasion of the party's 44th founding anniversary. The announcement came a day after Law Minister Anisul Haq told the Parliament that the government was planning to form a commission by December next to identify the people who were behind the killing of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman on 15 August 1975. Meanwhile, BNP and its associate bodies are celebrating the day with various programs across the country. A Jubadol old man was killed and several others were injured during a clash between police and BNP activists near the railgate number 2 of Narayanaganj Shodor Upazila this morning. The deceased was primarily identified as 24-year-old Shaun. The clash broke out at around 10:30 in the morning after the law enforcers tried to prevent the local BNP leaders and activists from holding a rally marking the party's 44th founding anniversary. At the time, police fired tear shell and rubber bullet in the response to the brick bats hurled at them by the activists. Bangladesh Power Development Board, BPTV, Narayanaganj City Corporation, NCC, and Chinese firm EU entity signed an agreement to develop the country's second wasp-based power plant today. The power plant will generate the 6 megawatt of the electricity from garbage of the Narayanaganj city and adjoining areas. Welcoming the deal, LGRD and Cooperative Minister Taizul Islam said the more such project will be set up in the cities and cooperating the area. According to the agreement, Narayanaganj City Corporation will supply 600 metric tons of garbage to the EU entity plant to generate 6 megawatt electricity. State Minister for Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Nozul Hamid Bipu was present at the program. The Appellate Division of the Supreme Court stayed till October 23rd. The High Court order described the provision of prior permission to the arrest government employees. A sixth member of the bench of justice headed by the Chief Justice Hassan Faiz Siddiqui passed the order after hearing on the petition filed by the state this morning. Attorney General Abu Muhammad Aminuddin and Advocate Munjil Morshed stood for the state. Earlier, the High Court scrapped the provision in the law which was made it mandatory for police to take the permission from higher authorities to arrest a civil servant. A bench of Justice Muhammad Mujibur Rahman Mia and Justice Qazi Muhammad Izarul Haq Akund passed the order. The Bangladesh Bank made a profit of nearly Dhaka 26,300 crore from the foreign currency revaluation in the 2021 to 2022 last fiscal year. According to the central bank report, the huge exchange gains came in the form to the faster devaluation of the Dhaka, which pushed its total profit by the Dhaka 29,247 crore in the fiscal year 22, 5 times higher than the Dhaka 5,777 crore in the fiscal year 21. The central bank built up the country's foreign exchange reserve by the buying dollars from the bank at the lower rate and selling at the higher rate amid a dollar scarcity, causing huge exchange gains for the authorities. The government reduced fare of the water transport by the 50 paisa per kilometer after fuel prices were lowered by Taka 5 per litre. The Ministry of Shipping issued a notification in this regard. The new fare will be effective from Friday. River transport fares were declined to Taka 2.85 per kilometer for the first 100 kilometer from the existing Taka 3 per kilometer. And beyond the first 100 kilometer, the fare was decreased and the Taka 2.45 per kilometer from the existing Taka 2.60. And meanwhile, according to the government notification, the minimum fare has also been refixed at Taka 30. After an interval of the 3 months, Bangladesh Forest Department reopened the Sundarbans, the world's largest mangrove forest and a UNESCO World Heritage Site for the tourists from today. Now, both the local and the foreign tourists and the local fishermen will be able to collect the permission letters from the Forest Department to enter the forest area. The Forest Department had barred the visitor from entering the Sundarban from June 1 to August 31st. These 3 months are considering the breeding season to fish and the animal. It also banned the fishing in all river and canal for the Sundarbans during the period. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back, and you are watching SATV News. The wife of ex-Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak was found guilty of soliciting and receiving bribes today. Rashma Mansor had previously pleaded not guilty to 3 charges, a total number of 194 million ringgit linked to a solar energy project in the Sarawak. But the High Court just found the former First Lady guilty on those charges this morning. The judgment comes day after her husband Najib began serving a 12-year jail sentence for the corruption. Rashma still faces 17 other charges of the money laundering and the tax evasion. She has pleaded not guilty to these charges. The 70-year-old is known for her love for luxury, goods and jewelry. Shelling in the city of the Enohoda near the Zaporizhia nuclear power has been ongoing since this morning. Enohoda mayor said that the constant mortar shelling had not formed and stopped since the 5 in the morning, and the helicopters had been circling over the city. The Russian administration claimed there had been at least 3 civilian casualties and 5 injured. The report comes as team from the International Atomic Energy traveled to the nuclear power plant for the plant inspection. Meanwhile, UN inspectors said they would work to establish a permanent presence at the Zaporizhia nuclear power station. The United Nations Human Rights Office said that China's detention of the Uyghurs and other mostly Muslim ethnic minorities in the northwestern region of the Xinjiang and may amount to the crimes against the humanity. The report called on Beijing to immediately release all individuals arbitrarily deprived of their liberty and also clarify the whereabouts of those whose families have been unable to relocate and undertake a full review of the law and the domestic security. The report came forward at the 3 after a guard-breaking report from the UN Committee on the Elimination of the Racial Discrimination that revealed that more than 1 million people were being held in New York of the network detention centers across the Xinjiang. The government of the US, UK, Canada and France have since leveled the China's treatment of the Uyghurs as a genocide. Former President Donald Trump argued in the court of the National Archives should have been expected to find the classified material among the 15 boxes Trump turned over the January from Mar-a-Lago because they were presidential record. The filing his closing written legal argument before a critical hearing Thursday acknowledged that classified material was found at the Mar-a-Lago, but argued that it should not have been cause for alarming and should not have led for the search of the Trump, Florida residents earlier that month. The Trump knew filing the Wednesday to his platform to formally respond to the prosecutor's assertion that member of his legal team engaged in the obstructive conduct by concealing documents of his Florida resort and by providing untrue information to the investigators. The fifth match of the Asia Cup cricket tournament will be played between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka in Dubai tonight at 8 o'clock in Bangladesh time. Both teams are coming off losses in Afghanistan in the tournament, while Sri Lanka went down to the Mohammad Nabi since the 8th wicket. In the Asia Cup opener, Bangladesh lost by 7 wickets to the Afghanistan. Overall, Sri Lanka enjoys a favorable head-to-head record against Bangladesh in T20 innings. However, the two teams met in the Asia Cup in the T20 format in 2016. Manchester City, Arsenal and Chelsea won at 3 different matches in the English Premier League EPL. The Erling Haaland contributed his sensational start to life in the Premier League as they made to back-to-back these streaks the Manchester City 6-0 demolition of the Nottingham Forest. At another match of the day, Arsenal ensured they stayed top the Premier League table and kept their perfect start to the season intact with a dominant 2-1 win over the Aston Villa. Meanwhile, Fabio Carvalho scratched a 2-1 victory for the Liverpool against Newcastle United with a stunning barely 5 minutes into the stoppage time. Before ending, we'll go through the SATV News headlines again. Prime Minister reiterates her call to put concentration on boosting food production, doing savings and showing austerity. BNP will form a new commission to identify those who were behind the murder of its founder Zia Rahman, says the Mirza Fakhrul. BPTV, NCC and Chinese firm UNT signs an agreement to develop the country's second worst-based power plant. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.